Hello and welcome. Today, we are going on a journey, shrinking way down to the molecular level. We're going to meet the unsung heroes that are working inside every single one of your cells right now. We're talking about enzymes, these tiny, unbelievably powerful machines that, honestly, make life itself possible. So, let's dive in.
So, have you ever really stopped to think about how your body does, well, anything? How it digests your lunch, how it builds new cells, or even how you're able to process this thought right now? The answer is this constant, incredible whirlwind of millions of chemical reactions. And the secret ingredient, the thing that makes it all happen at the speed of life, is the star of our show today.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to cover the basics of what enzymes actually are. We'll call them life's master catalysts. Then, we'll zoom in on their amazing precision using the famous lock and key model. After that, we'll explore the very delicate balance they need to get their job done. And finally, we'll see how these little natural machines have jumped right out of our cells and into our modern world.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, Life's Biological Catalysts. I want you to think of enzymes as the microscopic essential workers on the front lines running the show inside every living thing on the planet.
At its very core, an enzyme is a type of protein, a really specialized one that acts as a biological catalyst. And that word, catalyst, is key. You see, they work by lowering the amount of energy a reaction needs to get started. By doing this, they can make a reaction happen millions of times faster. And the best part, they don't get used up in the process. They're basically nature's ultimate reusable tools.
Look, it's pretty much impossible to overstate this. Enzymes are absolutely essential for life. I mean, without them, the reactions needed to do things like digest food or copy your DNA would take so long that life, as we know it, would just grind to a halt. They really are the engine of all biology.
And just think about the sheer scope of their work. There's an enzyme in your saliva that starts breaking down the starch in your food before you even swallow. And deep inside your cells, another enzyme is flawlessly copying all 3 billion letters of your genetic code. Every single vital function you can think of relies on these little specialists doing the heavy lift.
So a great question is, how do they know which reaction to speed up? They can't just go around catalyzing everything, right? Well, that brings us right to Section 2, the lock and key. This idea is all about explaining the incredible precision of enzymes. They aren't generalists, they are absolute specialists. The whole secret to an enzyme's power lies in its unique three-dimensional structure. It's not just some random glob of protein, no. It's a complex, intricately folded machine. And that specific shape is everything. It creates this perfectly formed docking station that dictates exactly which job, and only which job, that enzyme can do.
And that one specific molecule an enzyme works on, it has a special name, the substrate. For a long time, we've used the lock and key analogy. You know, the substrate is the key, and it fits perfectly into the enzyme's active site, which is the lock. But it's even cooler than that. The more modern view is the induced fit model. This suggests the enzyme actually adjusts its shape just a little bit to get the perfect grip on its substrate, kind of like a custom-made glove molding to your hand.
The whole process is like this perfect four-step dance. First, the substrate finds and binds to its one and only matching enzyme. Then, the enzyme works its magic, catalyzing the reaction and creating brand new products. And here's the real kicker. Once the products are released, the enzyme is completely unchanged. It just pops right off, ready to go again, immediately looking for its next substrate. Talk about efficiency.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, a delicate balance. Because just like any highly specialized machine, enzymes are incredibly powerful, but they can also be a little sensitive. They need the conditions to be just right to perform at their best.
Temperature has what you might call a Goldilocks effect on them. As things warm up, their activity increases, but only up to an optimal point. If you push the temperature too high, the enzyme denatures. That means it loses its special 3D shape. Think of it like cooking an egg white. It changes permanently. The lock is broken, and it just stops working completely.
And it's a very similar story with pH, the measure of acidity. Most of the enzymes in our blood, for example, work best at a nearly neutral pH, right around 7.4.
But this is super specific to the enzyme's location. An enzyme in your stomach, like pepsin, actually loves a highly acidic environment. If you take either of those enzymes and put them in the wrong pH, their activity just plummets. And to top it all off, our cells have these internal stop and go signals to manage everything. Inhibitors are molecules that basically get in the way, blocking the enzyme from doing its job. And on the flip side, you have activators, which bind to the enzyme and either switch it on or give its performance a boost. It's this incredibly sophisticated system of regulation that keeps everything running smoothly.
So, we know enzymes are beyond crucial for biology, but what about outside the body? That brings us to our last section, enzymes in our world. This is where we get to see how science has taken these natural powerhouses and put them to work for us.
Yeah, the big idea here is that we've basically taken what nature perfected over billions of years and applied it to solve our own real-world problems. We figured out how to take these microscopic machines out of their cozy cellular homes and put them to work for us in some pretty amazing ways.
And the applications are just everywhere. In medicine, a ton of modern drugs are really just enzyme inhibitors designed to block a specific process. In the food industry, an enzyme called lactase is what gives us lactose-free milk. And yep, check your laundry detergent. Those biological cleaners are full of enzymes that specifically target and break down stains from things like grass, blood, or chocolate. They're literally eating the grime off your clothes.
So let's just quickly recap an enzyme's incredible journey. It all starts with its creation as a specialized protein. Then it sets off on its mission to find its one and only specific substrate. It performs its action, catalyzing a reaction that is absolutely essential for life. And its impact? It's enormous. It powers not just all of biology, but a huge chunk of our modern technology too.
Our understanding has come so far, from just discovering these things exist to putting them in our laundry. It really makes you wonder what's next. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If enzymes really are nature's original nanotechnology, what incredible new tools and solutions are we going to build with them tomorrow? Thanks for watching.